Okay guys, welcome back. I am super excited to teach you guys this. I'm just going to call it the Reverse Weave Table Faro. And let's take a look here. Looks something like this. It is by far the most satisfying shuffle I have ever learned. I shared this as a short recently and everybody just wants to learn it. So here it is. And quick note, this is not technically the table faro. This is a little different than the table faro. The table faro is done like that, and then this faro is done like that. So technically it's the opposite weaving action or direction than the regular table faro. Now I suggest you first learn how to do the regular faro shuffle and the table riffle shuffle. It's just going to make learning this a whole lot easier. Okay, let's get into it. So to start out with, we're going to want to split the deck into two halves. Now, we want the halves to be equal halves. Now, I know this half is a little bit smaller, so let's try to get an equal amount. There we go. So we just split the deck evenly in half, and this is just going to get us the best weave possible. We're aiming to interlace the cards perfectly one by one. So just, the more even your two halves can be, the better your weave is going to end up being. So once we have our packs separated, we're going to want them to be as square as possible. So knocking them together just a little bit just to tidy that square up is totally fine. So we have them like this. Now the grip is very important. We're going to come over and we're going to grip the ends of both packets with a middle finger and thumb, just like so. And our index fingers are going to rest right around here, and we're not going to put too much pressure, but we're just going to think about just holding that card in place, if that makes sense. So, quick recap, because the grip is very, very important. We're going to split in half. We're going to just hold with our nails just right here, and then you can also have your ring fingers there as well. I usually just have my middle fingers there and my ring fingers kind of on that corner there, if you can see that here. Okay, now let's talk about the weave. So the weaving action is the most difficult part. Now that we have our grip here, this is why the grip is going to be very important, because it's going to allow us to have all the proper pressure points to do that weave. We're going to want to start off with our packets very square and very even, just like this. Now, to start the weave, what we're going to do is we're going to push these packets together at the same time as lifting up, like this. Now, very important is as we're pushing together and lifting up, we want to slightly, very, very minutely turn our hands in, because we're going to want it to weave from the corners. We're not going to want it to weave straight on. It's not going to get us a really good weave. So we have our grip here. Let's get half. There we go. Now we're going to lift up. We're also going to turn in like this. Now if I do it really exaggerated, it's not really going to work. So we want to just barely, barely, barely turn in like that. That's going to get us our weave. Let's try that again, slower. Let's see how slow I can actually get it. Just like that. And you can see that is perfectly interlaced one by one throughout the whole entire deck. That is what we're aiming for. So again, half and half. We're going to push inwards. We're also going to lift up. Now you can put a little bit of pressure with your index fingers. It's not necessary, but you can if you want to. And then very important, we want to turn our hands in very, very subtly to get that weave, just like that. Now, you can finish with the shuffle like this. We have it interlaced like that, and you can just push it in if you want to. However, you are in a beautiful opportunity once you have your weave to the bridge. Once we have our weave, we're here, we have our weave. We are gonna, now remember that we tilted our hands in a little bit. If you find yourself that your packets are separated like this, that is totally fine. You just push them together like that after you've done your weave. Now to get the bridge, what we're gonna do is our pinky is gonna come hit this corner right here. It's gonna plant right there. We're gonna use our middle finger and thumb again. We're gonna pick up all the cards where they interlace right here in the middle, and then our index finger, very important, is gonna stick on top. Now we're gonna lift that whole thing up, and then we're gonna push these over like this. And this is all happening on that base of the pinky right here. Just like that. And then we're gonna let go with our index and middle finger of our right hand, or sorry, middle finger and thumb of our right hand, and let those cards interlace and bridge together. We're gonna plant our pinky. We're gonna pick up everything. We're gonna bring this over and then hold with our index finger like this, and then let go. And it's gonna come together just like that. For a little bit of troubleshooting, if you find yourself really struggling with the weaving action, try reducing the amount of pressure you're using to actually do the weave. You really don't need to like shove all these cards together and make it like super violent. It can really be very light. Now to get that like nice sound, you're kind of doing like a this motion, and you can do it pretty fast like that. You know, like this. However, I would suggest starting off really light, just to understand how that weave is going to happen, and don't really try to force it. Let it come naturally on its own, and then you can become a little more firm and a little more fast as you get that weave done. I do recommend using a newer deck to start off practicing. It's just going to make that weaving action a lot easier for you. If you have a really old deck, the corners will start to stick and the edges will, stick together, and that's just going to make it a whole lot harder for you. So let's recap really quickly. So we are going to come in like this. We're technically already in our proper grip. So we're just going to lift up with our thumb somewhere around halfway, separate, make sure the packets are very square. We're going to do our weaving action, which consists of pushing the cards together, simultaneously lifting up, and simultaneously turning our finger, or turning the packets into each other, like that. Then to get our bridge, we're going to lock our pinky down, pick up the middle, push over with our left hand, let everything fall, while keeping pressure with our index finger like that. Now let's do one in slow motion. Okay, enjoy that move, practice it hard. It'll take a little bit to get it down. It is a bit knacky, and your fingers and your wrists will hurt a little bit from practicing that. But once you get it, trust me, it'll be the most satisfying shuffle that you will ever learn. So have fun with it. Let me know down below in the comment section if you guys are having any trouble with it, and let me know when you guys have mastered it and how it feels. And also let me know if you agree, once you get it down, if it is the most satisfying shuffle that you guys have learned. Happy practicing. Peace.